Bring in Jeff Kilburg, who's able to join us now, the KKM financial founder and CEO, CNBC contributor. Jeff, great to see you. I thought this was the bounce back week for markets. What do you make of the action this week in names like NVIDIA?
Well, I think it's very understandable. And by the way, it's great to see you twice in 1 week, pal. But I think it's fascinating to see the chips. The chips are what led us up in 23 and 24. And certainly what led us down. And I have been skeptical and critical when we saw NVIDIA up over 150. 153 was a high. But I think we're in oversold conditions. But I think we are looking for something tangible. I'm not going to say the word uncertainty from tariffs, but we're looking for something tangible. And it's interesting. NVIDIA is kind of being used right now as a pawn, Wilf. If you see the $500 billion commitment, you thought that would encourage the president to help NVIDIA. But nonetheless, we are seeing this opportunity. But I like to look at valuations, Wilf. If you look at the 30% drop down year to date for NVIDIA, which is, by the way, 21% of SMH, which is the semiconductor ETF. But NVIDIA has come down 30%. The forward PE ratio back in January, just this year, was up over 50. Now it's down at 22. So that forward PE of 22 is a 60% haircut. The stock's come down 30%. There's a discrepancy there. I want to be an owner. I bought it in the 90s. I had to take it down to $86 when we saw the post-Rose Garden debacle price discovery. But I think longer term, when you see this tariff conversation, when the VIX go lower, you're going to see NVIDIA lead up the semiconductors, and you will see the AI theme, which took us here, come back to life.
What do you make of the SMH more broadly then? I mean, clearly NVIDIA's still got relatively attractive growth in earnings ahead. Do all of the names have that, or do you think the SMH more broadly has further to fall?
Well, I think if you compare SOXX, SOX, compared to SMH, SMH certainly has more concentration. The top 5 holdings will take about 51%, and the tip of the spear is NVIDIA at 21%. But I think if you're looking for broad swath allocation to semis, NVIDIA has to be there. So I'm okay with the concentration in SMH because I think what led us up is also going to lead us out. And I think right now we have to get some visibility. We're hopefully not going to decouple from China. Hopefully things are going to find a way. Tomorrow's Good Friday. It would be great to get some good news, but I'm not hoping for that yet. But right here, right now, when it feels this bad in semis, this is the time to buy. This is a longer term play. And all that CapEx we saw for all those different companies, Wilf, we are going to see that CapEx come and translate into chips, chip demand. I know margins are coming down for NVIDIA, but they are still the superstar, rock star leader in chips.
Let's broaden out, Jeff, and just touch on the market as a whole. I'm just looking at the VIX. We're at 30.4 today, down 6% on the day. What is that in terms of long-term kind of context for where 30 is? It's still pretty high, but do you think it's kind of low given the uncertainty out there?
It has come down dramatically. Thank goodness it's not up at 60 anymore. But when you do see the elevated VIX, that's simply stating, Wilf, as you know, that people are still concerned. And I think there's an interesting, one of the Greek options words we talk a lot about is theta. Theta simply means the time decay in an option before it expires. Well, there's theta and there's time decay on getting some form or fashion of the first deal on the board for President Trump. So if President Trump's watching, we need something tangible because it's time decay. We're seeing traders, institutional, retail, we're seeing everyone just exhausted. The bandwidth and the skittishness of the actual tape is interesting. We've seen the NASDAQ 100 today go up and down probably about 20 different times. So yes, I'm encouraged that the VIX is coming down, but I don't really think that we're going to have the ability to say all is clear until see the VIX go under 20. But this VIX elevated, or this option premium being elevated, it allows you to sell NVIDIA puts. And if you're a little bit afraid of owning NVIDIA, sell the put spread, define your risk. So these elevated option premiums, this is a trader's delight, and this is an opportunity to allocate for a longer term.